the League Leaders Shield and lost the grand final, it means now in the end. It's great that Cass his first Shield and needed to be celebrated. I do think the We Are the Champions stuff by the club post-match is a bit short-sighted. It looks like it could be Wigan or Saints with Barber going for them, going to Cass in the semi, then Hull or the Rhinos in the final. The comp is far from over. Cass fans claiming the moral high ground if they don't win it will be bullshit, just like Hudson Wire before them. But right now, the League Leaders is great for the town, the area, the fans and Super League. Well done, Cass. I don't think there's a song for like, we've won this part of the season,
no, and
we know that we still have to win another one. So I kind of think get over the song thing, Rich. But I get his general point. On the South Stand coming down, watching from 10,000 miles away, it was very emotional. I'll be honest, I shed a few tears. I sat on the wall and stood in the stand as much as practically possible for about 34 years. Seeing the videos of the history from the club website broke me. It brought back great memories of spending great times with family and friends. It reminded me of my late granddad and how much I miss him. He got me into the sport. We scattered some of his ashes there. In a weird way, I always felt close to him on a match day. I feel lucky to have got one last game this summer. I took one of my Aussie mates to the Leeds versus Hull game in July. Whilst the game wasn't the greatest, it was a war, and as always, the South Stand was bouncing. My mate was genuinely blown away. The atmosphere, the chanting, the banter, the 2-pint pictures.
Wow.
It was magical watching someone experience it for the first time. Match day has always been a huge part of my life, and the experience in the South Stand for me is spiritual. It's so much more than the game on the field. For me, it was friends, family, emotion, and real sense of community, which in many ways is missing from society. Where else do you sing, joke, laugh, argue, debate, hug, jump up and down with people you don't even know? With some of these people you don't even know their names, but have known them for years. I miss the old girl already. I look forward to seeing the new stand in 2019. It has a lot to live up to, marching on together.
It's very well put. Very poignant. I don't think there's a lot that I can add to that. So
he followed it up by his dad. By when he spoke to his dad the next morning, his dad was just moaning about McDermott and the team selection.
Well, there's that,
and he was like, "Well, that's what everyone was talking about, not about the stand."
There you go. That's it. Yeah, there you are.
But that's great.
Yeah, it was wonderfully put. Cheers, Rich. Always a pleasure.
And a nice bit of looking forward to the end and realising that whilst it is a piece of history, things do move forward.
Yeah.
And, they could create many more memories there. If Leeds continue being a champion side when the new stand's there, people are going to remember the place fondly still.
Of course, yeah.
Tim Griffiths got in touch. Really good email, this one. He said, "Now then, chaps. Great day on Saturday as my first engagement as assistant manager for the London and South East Harry Jepson representative side. This year, the HJ Cup will be contested between regional select teams rather than the club competition winners. First off, we had a 2-hour trial for players nominated by their coaches from across the London leagues. Coach Kim Parkinson put the boys through a tough session, yours truly being used to hold tackle pads, etc., and picking up some bruises this morning. Everyone acquitted themselves well, including those who lost their breakfast.
Wow.
After the trial came two games of scouting duty for me. The London Division 1 Grand Final saw Brixton Bulls beat South London Silverbacks 48-26 in a great game with both sides putting on some big hits and good skills all round, but Brixton showed that bit more determination, whilst the Silverbacks picked up several injuries to key players. In other fun, Silverbacks had a kicker who was an Andy Good lookalike, hairline, belly, gloves.
Fabulous.
And Brixton had some of the poshest fans I've ever encountered at rugby league games. I love that. He always throws a bit of a reverence in, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I always thought Brixton was a bit of a
yardy kind of.
Bit of a rougher area, but I based that on only a Chasing Status song that I know called Brixton Briefcase, which I think is a sports bag full of drugs. So I could be wrong. Maybe Brixton's
obviously the rugby league fans certainly are. Yeah. Second game of was the Premier final, which saw the Hammersmith Hill Hoists defeat the South London Chargers 25-18. Hammersmith, dressed like Australians in green and gold, and their halfback and hooker were having a Jared Samet lookalike competition. One of the Hammersmith players, who was bigger than me, Tim G's a big, tall fella,
big unit.
Yeah, arrived with his huge dog striding out in front of him, who proceeded to sit in the stands and howl periodically.
Yes.
Oh,
I love stuff like this.
I hope Dave Cantrell was there as well, howling back. This was a great game between two closely matched sides, which ebbed and flowed in the first half, which finished 12 apiece, before intelligent play and a crucial drop goal saw Hammersmith get the win they deserved. Hoping lots of these players will be in our regional squad for the first game in 2 weeks' time. Massive thanks to London Scholars for hosting the day. They are building the New River into a hub for London RL.
That's fabulous.
Great stuff, and I look forward to hearing more about the series and what have you.
Definitely keep us informed, Mr. Assistant Manager.
Yeah, and obviously this might bring him into contact with some of our other London folk. Obviously he's met Dave Cantrell a couple of times, but Aaron and the Eels, maybe they'll be around this situation. Maybe Aaron can give him some tips on some of the young up-and-comers for his future years' squads.
There you go, with any luck, absolutely. Okay.
I wonder if Aaron's going to be at the cup final.
That's a very good
It'd be
point.
really nice to meet him and his boy in that, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
What about Paul as well? Has he mentioned what he's doing?
Paul should be there, yeah.
Paul?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Should be there.
And Aaron. Nice one. That'd be good. Okay, well that is your feedback and shout-outs taken care of. Let's take a look now at news from around the world of rugby league. So, to the news from around the world of rugby league this week, and we'll start over in Hull, where Hull FC captain Gareth Ellis has announced that he will retire at the end of the season. The 36-year-old, who made his 450th appearance against Huddersfield this Friday, made his debut way back in the last century in 1999. He will take on the football manager role at the club when he retires. Ellis started his career with Wakefield before spells with Leeds Rhinos and the NRL side Wests Tigers. The timing is right to bow out now while I'm able to contribute wholeheartedly on the field, he told the club website. We're back at Wembley next weekend and in sight of only a second ever grand final. I'm determined to finish on a high and I'm dreaming of that fairy tale finish. What a career Gaz Ellis has had.
Yeah, he was 3-time player of the year, wasn't he, in his spell at the West Tigers, and will go down as a club legend for the joint venture, I would suggest.
Yeah.
He really took a step up to be like... We saw flashes. He was a great offloader in his Leeds days and a really good line runner, and he was always a good line runner. But I think he took a step up in terms of being a leader. Because when he came back and was in the Hull side, was the captain at Hull, it's just been... Yeah,
he flourished down under, didn't he? Absolutely. One of the ones that made a real success of his time there, and he'll be... and as an England player and a Great Britain player as well, his contributions will be missed, won't they? Or have been missed, I should say.
But I just think he's a fantastic rugby league man.
Definitely so. Wakefield Trinity centre Bill Tupou has signed a new 3-year deal that will expire in the winter of 2020. The 27-year-old Tongan international joined Trinity from the NRL side Canberra Raiders in 2015 and has scored 15 tries in 48 appearances. Solid player, Tupou. Like to watch him go. He's done well for him.
Powerful, pacey, works hard. I think they've got a winner there for the sort of money they spent on him, for the sort of like deal they brought him in on when they brought him in. I think they've really sorted themselves out of a good player there. They spotted one that was on the periphery of the NRL that was more than good enough for Super League.
Absolutely. Okay. Castleford Tigers have signed Newcastle Knights centre Joe Wardle on a 3-year contract. The 25-year-old joined the NRL side from Huddersfield in December 2016 and has made 15 appearances this year. Wardle said, "I would just like to say thank you to Newcastle for working alongside me in what has been a hard time adjusting to life down under. Rugby careers are short, so happiness is key, and sometimes things don't work out," which is unfortunately the case. So he's given it a go, so fair play to the guy. He's tried to broaden his horizons. It hasn't panned out for him. He's coming back, he's doing it the right way.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily was that bad, but it's probably harder to adjust to being kind of at the start of the season, not really having a settled position and being in the shite side. And then by the time he sort of sorted his future out, or got round to sorting a future out that he could be happier with, I think he seemed quite settled. And these things sort of come around like that, and it's kind of like the Joe Burgess situation as well. Not quite right for him when he's gone over, but not disgraced himself either.
Certainly Castleford's gain, though. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to do a good job for Cass next season. Definitely,
yeah. And it gives them sort of a long-term successor of that oversized centre is what I think they might pick him as in sort of a Jake Webster successor.
I suspect so. Gold Coast Titans have sacked head coach Neil Henry after 3 years at the club. The 56-year-old was handed his marching orders after the Titans slumped to a 5th straight defeat, leaving them 14th on the league ladder. Crisis talks were held over the weekend, and a decision was reached to remove the former Canberra and North Queensland chief following a poor run of form and a public bust-up with Titans star Jared Hayne. It was speculated that Henry never wanted to bring the Australian international to the club following a stint in the NFL, although Henry did deny those suggestions. Hayne then told the media he would leave the club if he wasn't wanted, which suggested that one of the pair would be about to go. And it's far easier to sack your coach in the eyes of the fans than it is to sack someone who comes with the cachet of Jared Hayne.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I agree with the policy.
I'm not sure the fans would be.
Well, perhaps not
necessarily. I think a lot of money's gone into Jared Hayne though, and I think that's probably where that comes from. But we'll see if someone else can bring out the better side of the Titans, because I expected them to go really well this year. I thought they had a fantastic set of backs, and the young halfback. What's his name?
Kane. No.
I can't think of it.
Caesar? No.
Taylor.
I don't know.
Why is it gone? It's gone completely. Anyway, the young halfback who looked really good last year with the podgy face. The one with the podgy face. What's his name?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I've got Kane Algie and Aiden Caesar.
And they had a couple of great performances in the forwards last year, and they brought, and they brought people like Proctor in to kind of be a little bit more of leaders, and obviously he was a little bit more of a coke sniffer, which they've had before. But
look, he's good fun up on the Gold Coast. But I don't know why people are getting so upset.
I think it's not come together, so I kind of think it's not a shock. To be completely honest, because I expected them to do a lot better than they've done, and I'd say consistency and injuries played a massive part early doors, but consistency and discipline and that sort of stuff, and defensive attitude sometimes from when I've seen the Titans, I just think it's not a shock for me. It was going in the right direction, but he had everything in place this year, and it's not worked out.
There you go. Okay. And finally, a Canberra fan this is disgusting, a Canberra fan was ejected from the GIO Stadium for allegedly spitting at NRL referee Ashley Klein at half-time of Sunday's home defeat by Penrith. The patron was kicked out of the arena after leaning over the railing and appearing to spit towards Klein as he headed into the tunnel, escorted by a security man, while angry fans vented frustration at on-field officiating. Canberra confirmed further action would be considered, with the fans' details taken by stadium security. Raiders coach Ricky Stewart said spitting at a referee would warrant further punishment, which I suspect should mean a life ban.
Certainly, his membership cancelled this year, I think, is the outcome.
Absolutely despicable, cowardly act.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Never mind, we have covered this, I think, very early days. We talked about spitting and blood and exchange of fluids in terms of injuries to players and what have you.
We did, because Dr. Bob gave us one of his seminars.
He absolutely did. But I just think it's one of the most, if you're going to get into a barney with someone, don't spit at them. If you back it up properly, be a man about it, but have the courage of your convictions. Spitting at someone from a different distance is absolutely despicable behaviour.
A fan doing this to a referee, whatever they did, if they were backing up the convictions by waiting in for a random in the parking lot, it's still an absolute scumbag.
No, absolutely, I agree.
Completely reprehensible behaviour from a fan.
Couldn't agree more.
The fans need to realise that referees aren't out there trying to ruin your team's games or your team's seasons, and probably your players have made a lot more mistakes that have cost you big than what referees have made. And do you know what? I've recorded this game and I saw this news story on Twitter and I decided not to watch the game, and I've been rooting for Canberra this year with the British players, and this fan made me think, what a fucking bunch of scumbags, and I don't want them to get in the top 8 now, and I feel bad for people like Hodgson and Whitehead, who I like have a lot of time for, and for the general team actually. I enjoy watching them play, but if you're going to have fans like this, well, they're going to throw the book at him, and that's the right thing to do, and I suppose then I shouldn't be too mad at the club itself. It just left a bitter taste for me about the whole Canberra scenario.
He's not representative of the club, though, is he? He's representative of a portion of humanity that sadly exists out there.
But I don't want that fan base. I know that they're not all like that, obviously, but someone should have fucking sparked him out in the crowd for what he did.
Well, that's
where someone's courage of conviction should have come along.
Well, that's
Sparks him out and thrown him over and see what the players did to him.
I think we both agree it's a cowardly and disgusting act, and I for one would hope he'd get banned for life. And I know he's not representative of Canberra as a city or a group of people, but within society, within all of us, within what is normally, on average, a nice group of people, there are dickheads.
I'm absolutely fed up.
He should be ousted.
I'm absolutely fed up with this referee stuff spilling over.